we'll close it out with some bold predictions. And I don't know about you, but I have a bold prediction for the month of January, and that's coming up next weekend. And the UFC 283 main event. I'm going to predict Glover Teixeira to win the championship. Right, that may not be such a bold prediction, but I do think that he will actually end up walking away from the sport this time after the win. I think he's about 42, 43 now. He said he wants to continue fighting, and I believe that. I do think that he does want to continue fighting, but I think that my bold prediction is that he will end up walking away and retiring at the end of this fight. Win or loss, I think it may surprise some people, but I think it'll be his last fight in the UFC, his last professional fight, and I hope he goes out with the belt.
Yeah, that would be a crazy end to his career. I mean, you could have said he could have walked away from the sport when he won it. That was a big win for him, and then to have the crazy fight that he had with Jiri,
A fight that he was winning and lost in the last seconds,
yeah,
unbelievable.
literally, like I couldn't even believe it because I thought he was gonna win it. Ended up tapping out at the very last minute. But nonetheless, okay, I could see how this is a bold prediction, especially for those who don't think that that Glover can get past Jamal. I also think that a lot of people don't take into account that he is the owner of a gym. And who does he train? None other than the new UFC middleweight champion, Alex Pereira.
Exactly. He helped him get ready for that Izzy fight. They trained for a while for it for the camp, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't know if he'll kind of continue coaching and training and whatnot, but just I mean it makes sense. The card is in Brazil.
Yeah.
He's going for the championship that he lost. He's going to try to win it back. He's in the twilight of his career, but he still looks good. I think he took a lot of damage in the Jiri fight. I think it was probably not his best performance, but he still came out and showed that he can still take the punches. But I think that he's kind of aware of his own limitations. Maybe at this point, he's still got it. Maybe he has a couple of fights in him, but do you want to go out on the high note in your home country with a championship belt around your waist, or do you want to do that and then maybe have another couple fights and kind of fizzle out, or maybe just one other fight? I think if you win it, you go out on the high note in your home country, walk away with the belt, and be happy with it.
Well, just playing devil's advocate, right? If you're Glover and your last fight was against the actual champion, and you were beating him, and you ended up tapping out at the last minute. If he beats Jamal Hill, you don't think he's gonna want to defend against Jerry and take that loss off of his record, knowing that it was that close? Like you think you would rather him retire than take that fight one more time?
I think he may want to, but again, that's why I think it's kind of a bold prediction because it would make sense for him to want to get that one back. But I I don't know. We will wait and see. But my bold prediction is that he wins and he walks.
Interesting. We'll see. I mean, I'm excited for the fight. I think it's crazy that it came down to this, right? I mean, the last fight between Uncle Av and Jan ended up being a freaking
A
uh,
draw, a
draw.
draw, which
Like,
was absolutely wild to end the year that way.
like,
to end without a champion in the division, then to get Glover back into the championship picture, as rightfully I think he should have been. I don't think that they should have had the fight without him, but wild and interesting circumstances definitely for that championship fight.
definitely,
And
definitely.
also the implications that it leaves for light heavyweight moving forward. If he wins the championship and walks away, again, it's a vacant championship. And what do they do next? You know what I mean?
Right.
It just kind of continues the cycle for that light heavyweight division.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how the fight goes, considering the fact that Jamal's original opponent, Anthony Smith, is actually helping him to train for Glover. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it nonetheless. I think the 205 division is in need of a champion, a defending champion nonetheless. I don't think the belt has really been defended since John Jones, other than when Jan defended against Izzy.
Correct.
But nonetheless, right, the division hasn't really seen consistency when it comes to who's at the top of. So this is gonna be a fun fight. Good bold prediction on your end. But in the same vein, I wanted to also come up with a bold prediction for the month of January, and I couldn't necessarily narrow it down. I did get it to one bold prediction. I just couldn't predict who it was going to be. And this kind of ties into the world of pro wrestling. But my bold prediction for the month of January is one of these men, they're probably showing up in the Royal Rumble. I mean, you gotta
Interesting.
you gotta think, right? The Royal Rumble always has surprises. I think this is one of those years where some of the surprises that you think are like mainstream, like to the masses that everyone's thinking about, is The Rock coming back, maybe John Cena, right? Cody
Right.
Rhodes is coming back to win it from his injury. But for some reason, like when I was looking at all of these prediction channels and all these other YouTube channels, no one came into the world of mixed martial arts. The world of mixed martial arts and pro wrestling is more entangled than ever before. I mean, not only have you seen Ronda Rousey crossover, Brock Lesnar crossover, and actually find success, you are starting to see more people pop up, even on the like other platforms that are not WWE, right? The AEWs of the world, the Impact Wrestlings. I remember sometime maybe a couple years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, Colby Covington showed up on Impact Wrestling. It was one of the most random things I've ever seen. Recently, you saw Paige Van Zandt in AEW. You see American Top Team in AEW.
Right. I was gonna say, wasn't Masvidal there?
Oh, all of them were there. So the worlds have continued to cross, right? And I'm over here thinking, who the hell is showing up in January in the Royal Rumble? You got to think maybe Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny,
Bad Bunny.
ever since he's showed up in the WWE, he's become one of the most massive stars
The world.
in the world, right? Like, so who knows if he comes back? I'm over here thinking they're definitely coming into the UFC. The reason why I chose these two, I mean, you remember Daniel Cormier was the special guest referee for the
Right.
and Seth Rollins match.
Right.
He was saying how he was like so caught up in the moment, so shook that he forgot certain things he was supposed to do as the referee. But this is one of the like, I mean, like we love the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is just one of the most fun UFC pay-per-views that they have. It's that time of year. It kicks off the road to WrestleMania. Why not bring a former double champion who
And
seems to love wrestling?
I wanted to say this to you, but I never did. I thought about this to help support the case with DC even, and not necessarily with the Royal Rumble. But do you remember when they had the beef between him and Brock Lesnar in the middle of the cage in the
Yes, that's
UFC?
what I'm saying.
Do you remember how do you not capitalize on that moment if you were the WWE? DC, like you were saying, he was already a guest referee. DC was for that match, right? How do you not have a moment where it's just DC and Brock Lesnar in the ring after they just both eliminated somebody and they look at each other, lock eyes and circle and end up locking horns? How do you not have that moment if you're the WWE?
That would be epic in my
The
opinion.
crowd would be going bananas.
Wild. Even if they didn't even understand what was going on, like the masses would see that.
Because DC is also a wrestler, so he's got to have some of it right. I mean, come on. Come on.
It would be fun. I would love to see his fat ass just walk down over there, maybe get eliminated by Brock Lesnar, or he eliminates Brock Lesnar. One of the two.
They eliminate each other, something. I
Yeah,
mean, it has to happen.
it has to. I remember him reacting to when Seth Rollins cashed in on Brock Lesnar. He's a fan. He loves it. He's one of us when we're watching. So I do anticipate, if not him, and then it's Izzy, right? I don't know if you remember, but before the Pereira fight, I want to say he fought Paulo Acosta. I want to say was the match before that.
Let me pull it up.
If not, then it was the second matchup with Robert Whitaker. Regardless, when he came out as the Undertaker, you remember that, right?
I do.
That
I do.
same night, we randomly saw Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon in the crowd.
I think that was the Jared Cannonier fight. That was in
Okay, yes,
that was in July.
yeah. So that was the one before the Pereira fight. I want to say
Yes, because he lost to Pereira recently.
right,
Cannonier before that. Whitaker was in February of last year,
right.
and then Vittori was before Whitaker.
Gotcha. So yeah, it had to have been that fight. I remember it. I remember seeing it, and I was like, "What the hell? Like, why the hell is Vince there? Why is Triple H there? Why is Stephanie there?"
Right,
Obviously, it
right.
made more sense when he came out to the Undertaker's theme song, which was epic, epic to say the least. I was like, this can't be the only reason they're there. Obviously, UFC probably had to pay some money for that. If not the UFC, Izzy paid that shit out of pocket, or Paradigm, his management company.
Right, for the copyrights.
Legend, right? Absolute legend. He came out to that. That was sick. He capitalized on the moment. In my head, I'm thinking this has got to be bigger. They're probably trying to bring Izzy in. What better? I mean, sure, he lost to Pereira, and maybe his hype isn't as big as it was, a year ago.
But he's still an international superstar. There's no denying,
Still
and he's still
huge.
got the charisma. And
Still huge.
and how do you not capitalize that if you're Izzy, right? Going to the WWE to get even more fans to be like, yeah, I have the biggest following now. Probably not like the biggest
Right.
following, right? But he's got a huge following, even more massive now. And it's like, how do I not get another title shot?
Right, and promote the rematch, promote the fact that he's going back to get his throne. The thing is, Izzy is one of those fighters who, when you actually take a step back to look at would it be successful if he made the crossover? Yeah, I mean he has charisma, he can speak, he has swag, has the following. He was a voiceover for an anime series on Netflix. Like the guy has it, so I don't see why not. I mean, in terms of the WWE world, maybe he doesn't have a title, so they rescind that offer. But you have to think they were there for a reason. January is the Royal Rumble. It is one of the most exciting times of the year. They're not trying to bring in people to win. They're trying to bring in people for excitement,
Right.
awe factor. So how crazy would it be to see Israel Adesanya come down that ramp and eliminate a couple people? That would be a sight to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it would I mean, just continue to build stardom for both parties. It would, again, another no brainer for me. Of course, it costs money and whatever else in the background. To me as a fan, I'm like, yeah, do it. It sounds great. We love it. But, as
No,
far as what it actually takes in the background, I would hope that it's possible.
oh, I agree. And listen, I mean, he is Izzy. He is Israel Adesanya, but he is no Conor McGregor. He is no Ronda Rousey. He's not there yet. So if this offer came and if he would have turned it down, what an idiot. Because this is the opportunity to become mainstream, even more mainstream,
100%.
or get more fans. Like you would be dumb to turn this down. So if they do come to him for it, it would be fun. But nonetheless, right, these weren't the only two names that came up, right? If I was thinking bold prediction, I couldn't narrow it down like I told you. I had four names originally. I did cut out Nate Diaz. The reason why I cut out Nate Diaz is I just can't foresee him stooping so low to pretend to fight
Right.
somebody.
No,
just
it's real out. It's
right,
real.
doesn't come off as the type to be successful if he were to go that realm. But the only reason why I did consider him was because he did take a picture with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon recently, and he was kind of alluding to the fact that there were some type of business deals happening. But regardless, I narrowed him out, and I was like, nah, I don't see him coming into the WWE, even though it would be fun to see the Stockton slap in the Royal Rumble. But
Yeah.
one name that has always followed the Royal Rumble and WWE and the potential of a crossover is none other than the Mac himself, the man, the money maker, the
Da, da,
rich,
da, da, da.
right? Like Conor McGregor is made for the WWE. Maybe not so much as a wrestler, but as a personality, as a Paul Heyman esque type figure. This man can talk. He can walk.
Oh, there's no way
Does
that
he
he
have
doesn't get into the ring and throw a left cross as his finisher. There's no way.
and you know this has been teased for years. I mean, maybe two years ago when Becky was facing Ronda and Charlotte in WrestleMania, they were going back and forth, Becky and him, and Becky was saying how she needed reinforcements, and Becky's from Ireland, obviously. Connor's from Ireland,
Right. The whole Becky two belts came from
right?
his double champ persona. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So does he finally make the leap? And the only reason why I even brought him up because somebody can argue, okay, well he hasn't fought, and he's in Hollywood, and he might not have time, and you know he's not what he used to be. Fuck that shit. That's all bullshit. He is still
where's the bomb?
no, literally,
Fuck
like
that shit.
let me get it because it's true. Like fuck that shit. Like Conor McGregor is the reason why mainstream casual fans tune in and actually buy UFC pay-per-views. So you mean to tell me that the one man who can actually talk better than anyone in the sport, that he won't eventually make that crossover? I have to think
Only if he wants to. But if he wants to, 100%. There's no way, no organization would say, we don't want the millions, 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 and millions of viewers. We don't want the entire country of Ireland to pay attention to us.
or just the UFC market. The fact of the matter is he still has all eyes on him, still makes the most money, and it will forever be credited as the person to bring the UFC to that next level. So you have to think if it's not this year, when? Because he's bulking up, he's not training for a fight. He isn't hinted. I mean, he's hinted at wanting to coming back, but nowhere near in the next couple of months. He would have to go through USADA testing. He's just about to come out with the Roadhouse remake. This seems like the perfect time. You're fucking Hollywood. Get your ass, get the WWE money, get eliminated for all I fucking care. But the fact that you come in and you bring eyes, the WWE has been waiting for this, and he would be stupid not to capitalize on this before he hangs everything up.
I just don't know how you would make it a surprise to have him there because you would want everyone to be like, oh, you'd have to leak it early so that people are like, oh, is he going to be there? And you get all the eyes paying attention. And when he does show up, but that's one that would be impossible to keep secret. Somebody would be saying something, or you'd notice it, or they would have to leak it themselves to say, hey, pay attention to this. It's coming, and that's the way you get all the eyes on the show.
Well, I don't even know, right? Because in the past, he used to kind of respond and be part of it. So people always speculated it. No one's speculating it. Becky's not champion. Becky's nowhere near champion. Um, you know, there's like if you were to bring him in, it just makes most sense to bring him in with Becky Lynch. There's no, or maybe Finn, but regardless, he has this tie with Becky. Back in the day, TJ told me that Becky went to go train with Connor and Coach Kavanaugh. So there's just no other way you bring him in if it isn't a Becky Lynch angle of some sort. And even if he's not in the Rumble, maybe he helps Becky win of some sort in WrestleMania. It's just inevitable for him to show up in WWE. He has everything you want in a WWE, figure. He doesn't have to wrestle, but he can most certainly talk shit. Who knows? Lead his own stable or join forces with Becky Lynch somehow. I think that'd be fun. Bring him in for the Rumble. All eyes would see that even if they didn't tune in and they didn't promote it, that clip's gonna go fucking viral and have millions and millions of views because everyone's tuning in because Connor
Oh,
miraculously made his entrance in the fucking Royal Rumble. That'd be
oh yeah. Wait, whose music is that?
what would he come up to? He'd probably fucking come up to that song. It's that popular in my head.
I don't know if he would do that or not though, because he
Oh,
usually has he usually has his own the other song. I don't know if that's the
Biggie remix.
I don't know if that's the Irish national anthem or
Well,
whatever it
it
is.
goes from that Irish song into the Biggie remix that he always comes out to.
Mhm.
Regardless, I have to see it before I die. Even if it's not the Royal Rumble, I want to see him in WWE. I think he'd be crazy good at it. And yeah, my bold prediction is one of those three. Somebody from MMA will be in the Royal Rumble. If it is not Izzy, DC, or Conor McGregor, I will be shocked. So we'll have to tune in to the Royal Rumble in a couple weeks. I'm excited.